Hi, welcome to Nightcast, where you the subscribers send us your scary and or supernatural stories and we read them. Tonight we got a story for you guys from a guy named Michael, who had an encounter with a shadow person. Care to give it a read?
Yeah, I'll read it for you guys. Hi, back in 1979, my family and I had an experience with these entities. I had just returned from an army tour in Germany. My wife had preceded me and was renting a house in Spanaway, Washington. On the night I returned, she had to work and I spent the night alone. Beyond the foot of our bed was a walk-in closet leading into the bedroom. In the early morning hours, I was awakened by a feeling that I wasn't alone. Looking around the room, I noticed in the closet a human shape which was darker than the darkness of my closet. It appeared to be a man in a Western-style hat. Hands on his waist. No details were visible, just the outline of his silhouette. I lay there not believing my senses, and the more I watched, the more sure I was that there was indeed someone there. Summoning my courage, I grabbed the hunting knife my wife kept at the bedside and lunged towards the entity, at which point it vanished. Although rattled, I put it all the jet lag and the stresses of processing out of Germany, and I went back to sleep. Some weeks later, my wife came to me tearfully, and she said she wanted to move back to her hometown in California. She said she was afraid for the safety of our 3-month-old son. We had planned the whole 3 years in Germany to return to Washington, so I was nonplussed and questioned her extensively as to her reasons. After a while, she told me, quote, "I'm seeing people in this house who aren't there." Upon further investigation, she said it was a black shape in a cowboy hat and she had seen it several times since moving into the house. I had not told her my own episode until after she told me about hers. So we decided to leave. She called her parents in California and asked if we could stay there with them for a while. They had been up to see their new grandson a month before. When she asked, her mother said, "Thank God you were leaving that house. I kept seeing someone who wasn't there." Upon further questioning, she revealed that she had seen a black shape, man-like, that disappeared when it started to walk toward her. My father-in-law had also seen it, but they had not told each other. I don't know what it was, but as we were packing to leave, neighbors told us that we had lasted longer than most of the folks who rented the house before us. They all left within a month or two, and we lasted 6 months. What do you think about that before I chime in?
I mean, that's pretty scary stuff if it's true. And it's weird that so many people are seeing a shadow person, and specifically, so many people are seeing a shadow person that wears a Western-style hat or a flat-brimmed hat.
Now, just analyzing this a bit, I can tell you from being in the army that typically where he says around here, I had just returned from an army tour in Germany, seems a little strange because generally we only refer to something as a tour if it was like a combat tour, like my tour in Afghanistan, for example. But at the time, this looks like it was in 1979, and that was during the Cold War. I think the Berlin Wall was still up, so maybe it's just a generational thing.
So you think this dude's a liar?
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that using that type of lingo is a little strange. And I know some people try to grab the attention of readers by pretending they were or coming up with a story as if they were in the military or a police officer, because I know a lot of people like that stuff.
Yeah. It could have just been he over-exaggerated on that detail or pretended a bit on that specific part of the story, but the rest could be true.
Which we do a lot in the Army, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
So I have heard of a lot of people seeing things that can be explained in a scientific way. There's a thing called sleep paralysis that a lot of people experience. It's like when they're in between a state of being awake and asleep, and their mind can play tricks on them.
But this guy said he was moving towards it.
Yeah, this guy said he was moving
when
towards
he
it.
grabbed the knife.
So if this story's true, he wasn't experiencing any sleep paralysis. It's kind of weird that his neighbors mentioned that they had lasted a long time in that house compared to other people who were there.
I would hope my neighbors would tell me if a house was haunted or not I was moving into. That's just being a bad neighbor if you don't. Not to play the role of skeptic here, but I also saw that he referred to seeing this thing as an episode. And from working in law enforcement with some people who are not mentally stable, I could tell you that they call it episodes when they're having type of like schizophrenic episode. So him knowing that lingo, maybe it's possible that he had some type of, I don't know, PTSD or schizophrenia. But that's just me playing the role of the skeptic. It's just funny that he referred to it as an episode instead of like a sighting or something like that of a shadow person.
Yeah, but it's also really curious that people that are completely fine, people that don't have any mental illness or signs of mental illness, have seen shadow people.
Yeah. Like my unit when we were in Afghanistan, we had a couple sightings even on mission. I'd like to share some more about that later, but let's focus on this for now. Also, the fact that both couples didn't share their sightings with each other for a long period of time until it was time to go.
Yeah.
This is a little strange to me. I feel like I would have told my significant other right away. Whoa, did you see that thing I just saw? Not. I'm going to pretend I didn't see somebody in our closet.
Yeah. Yeah, this story is I think it's a good story, whether it's real or not. And if it's true, I mean, he had like 3 witnesses. He said that his wife was seeing stuff, and also his wife's mom. So it wasn't just him that was seeing stuff.
And everyone corroborated the seeing the same thing, a figure in a cowboy hat that disappeared, whether it was moving towards them or they were moving towards it. I'd say I wouldn't be unreasonable to believe him, and I know I've seen a couple things, so I'm not going to discount this story at all. I think it's entirely possible that this could have happened.
Well, anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. And if any of you guys have any scary or supernatural stories that you'd like to send us, you can send it to our email address, nightcasters13@gmail.com. I'll put the link down below in the description.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.